Hello and welcome to the Coloudsdale Cafe. I'm Kapachi Ramasan and I'm joined by Cinnamon Top.
Hello,
Or Cin-
everybody. I just
and
talking out of my place again. We'll just go in the
talking out of your
corner.
butt.
Uh,
And I'm also joined by KB, the mod for Gargle.
Peace.
So, if you guys are wondering, this is not take two. Today is pretty much a regular day. Wouldn't you agree?
It's a beautiful
Oh.
regular day.
Definitely regular.
So, how's your days going on this beautiful, wonderful Jesus Sunday?
All right.
It's a beautiful regular day.
Yeah, awkward pause. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
You know,
I'm always
yeah.
I'm always there for you.
Yeah, you and your Jehovah's Witness thing.
Sorry, I forgot to sharpen my wit before the interview.
Don't worry about it. This is perfect because now everyone knows exactly how you are.
Good.
Oh no.
AKA, for those viewers that are wondering, she's kind of like a female Nick.
Yeah.
Because Nick was always a female. This is more feminine, though.
I don't know whether I should be like.
You should be proud.
You should,
Okay.
yeah, you should be very proud because Nick is the coolest guy in the podcast. But
And then he left us for Dark Souls.
yeah, he
That
left us
poor
to play
bastard.
Dark Souls. He's studying game design, so he's probably really busy studying right now. According to my Xbox, is also saying he's still playing Dark Souls, but whatever.
You have Xbox?
No.
Me?
Oh. Anybody?
Yeah. So
I don't have Xbox.
KB, you're from
Yes.
good old Canada land.
Yes, Canada.
Which part of Canada are you from?
Ontario.
Ooh,
Seriously, that's the same province as Nick.
Oh no.
Oh
Go
no.
say, oh my god, you're his sister.
Oh
Awesome.
no.
Sister, twin.
I didn't know I had a brother.
You mean sister.
Sister.
No, Nick is a
Actually, I
dude.
have two. I didn't know I had a sister.
Nick is
Just-
the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah, he's a dude. We're just John is just messing with him, calling him a girl.
If he was here, he'd be going, I'm such a pretty girl.
Yeah, he would just go with it. That's why Nick is so cool. He goes with whatever, and he turns it around.
Yeah,
But
it says some
yeah.
transvestite or something. Which is true.
well, enough
But the
to
fans
open
don't
about.
need to know.
Yeah, the fans don't need to know that anymore. They don't need to be reminded. So I guess this has kind of been like a really strange week, at least for me when it comes to stuff about MOP. I mean, right now I'm like totally in the dark. Like I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen anything about season 4.
Because you're lazy.
I'm too lazy. But KB, have you been like up to date with the whole things that have been going on the fandom or whatnot?
What do you mean, like the episodes, or like the fandom?
Yeah, or
Yes.
anything else that's kind of relevant, you know.
Well, kind of both. I don't know. I tend to keep up to date. The episode was good. You should watch it.
I actually have a DVR, but I cannot watch it because my DVR is pooping right now. I'm only interested because of Whom the Bells Toll, Sweetie Toll, or whatever. I don't know. Every time I see the title, I'm like, yes, good song, good song.
Yeah, so the puns for references I don't know.
It's there's.
Isn't that from like a?
No, I'm
like-
thinking of it's Metallica from Whom the Bells Toll. That's what I'm thinking of every time I see that title. But
Yeah.
reading the description for the episode, if I switch my TV over from that, is something where Sweetie Belle. I'll read it real quick. Like Sweetie Belle like destroys from whom the Sweetie Bells Toll is pretty much it's I believe. God damn it. My DVR. I could easily do this on the computer, but I'm too lazy. Okay, there we go. Sweetie Belle ruins a costume for one of Rarity's clients on purpose. Luna visits her in her dreams. God damn it, Luna.
Whoa, that's weird.
It's actually awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I can't wait because this season's actually been really good and Sin is missing out on a lot.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it great?
Most of the awesome comes from Luna though. But Sweetie Belle's pretty good. There's less
Probably the
carnage.
Biggest moment has to be with the Derpy. When they brought Derpy back, pretty much like airtime. In the
Yeah.
Rainbow Falls, as soon as I saw her, I pretty much jumped off my couch and went, yes! I swear to God, my roommate's like, she loves the fandom too, but she's like looking at me like, what the hell does this mean? And I'm like, you don't understand the equivalence of bringing her back and showing her this much.
No, but
With
it's
her,
true because we all thought they had swept her under the rug or anything. It's like she was there, but we're
well,
not really
Equestria
saying she's there.
Girls was kind of, yeah, she's kind of been gone, but then they're just giving her more and more airtime. We're just like, yes, she's back.
To be
Please
fair,
continue to do that.
she did appear in Equestria Girls with derpy eyes, as a human.
Twice in the credits and in the
Mhm.
in when they're singing
So
in
it
the
was
cafeteria.
so like I guess from day one they already planned on having her on season 4. So if they put her on
They're not
Equestria
done with her.
Girls,
I'm
yeah,
really happy.
yeah, totally. If they put them on
Indeed.
Equestria Girls, of course they're gonna put them on
She
season
doesn't
4.
really talk anymore, though.
They're not going to make her talk because that's a liability. Because they're whatever voice they're going to give her is going to be there. We're not going to like it unless it's the old voice.
Exactly. I mean,
They need to.
all right.
They need to
let's
research.
be totally fair with this. I mean, Derpy Hooves as a character, she's kind of like Where's Waldo character.
She is a
She doesn't
Where's
speak.
Waldo.
She's
Yeah, I don't
only
think she needs a whole lot of.
exactly. I mean, that's who she is, and that's how we the fans see her, and that's the Derpy we know and we love. So we don't want her to speak. We don't want her to kind of get involved in anything.
She has toys of herself.
Yeah,
That's
because
how famous
just
that she's
just
gotten
her being
for-
there
I wanna
doing
hear
something
the-
dumb in the background for us to find it, of course, not putting it, the subtlety is where it counts.
Well, I
And
think that's.
mhm,
I think that's why these background characters work, though, because they don't take a whole lot of characterization. It's kind of like, yes, this character likes muffins and is clumsy, and that's kind of all we need. We can build off of that.
exactly.
Well, we made Doctor Hooves as a character. Lyra has her pretty much own freaking story.
And Bonbon,
Um,
I mean,
Your first
Bonbon,
answer, apologies.
Fruit Punch,
Yeah.
Berry Punch. I mean, Vinyl Scratch has gotten a lot more airtime than Octavia, which I'm still irritated about.
Yeah, where's Octavia, man? I was thinking about that.
I know, dude. I mean,
They
there
are
is
really
not just one
focusing on
music-based pony. Come on.
Vinyl though. I mean, they're giving her way too much airtime. Like ever
I
since
do like Vinyl.
I love
Mhm.
Vinyl, but like there are some episodes just like in the movie they really focused a lot of attention on her.
I don't like her puppet from the front, though.
Yeah, I
I still
mean,
demand for Red Eyes.
I kind of wish Octavia would appear like in Equestria Girls, but she didn't, and that was kind of disappointing.
She's gotta and yeah, the new Equestria Girls, she's gotta. If they don't, then
Yeah.
just die.
Me and my
please.
sister were having heated debate because there was a character that did not look like Octavia, didn't have her hairstyle nor her color scheme, but she had her cutie mark, which is like
what?
the sign, the music sign that she had, and it was purple,
It's
the
kind
same
of a
color.
generic mark.
Yeah, that is generic, but then we kind of but that's Octavia, because she's from the artsy guys, and she's really artsy, and she's really, like, she's very, what was that kind of, she looks like she belongs there, and I'm like, no, she doesn't look anything like, Octavia, just because she has the same cutie mark, which, by the way, it's on her dress. The mark is on her dress, but that doesn't, that's not enough to justify that's Octavia. Unless she was playing like a double bass or a cello somewhere, then okay, you got a case. But since we didn't saw her play any instruments, that's still debatable. I mean, she doesn't have a case. But
Yeah.
we'll have to see. I
Yeah.
mean, it has to, the fandom has to kind of react to a way, because I don't mind fan pandering, but it's obvious that the people who do the show are aware of the fandom, and they're very aware of what we
Well,
like
no,
about it.
Equestria Girls just alone.
Well,
Yeah.
they're coming out with another one in the fall.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much going to be stuck with it for how many more years?
I
I mean, the first one was okay, but it got really dumb in the last 15 minutes.
I
yeah.
don't know. I didn't like it's like half of it I loved, half of it I really, really didn't like.
I didn't mind the humanized versions, but the story could have been written way better, especially with their
Yeah, it was
time
a
frame that
story.
they had. They could have easily done something.
I think I eventually got used to the human designs. I didn't like them at first. I mean, the dressing
Yeah,
was
at
so
first
weird,
everybody
but-
was just like, oh. They pretty much just were making grunting and crying and angry sounds. Lots of angry yelling.
Yeah, I wasn't huge on them.
I wasn't really so
Skinny.
huge on the Monster Girl designs. What was it called? Like Monster High.
High
Yeah.
wannabes.
Yeah, Monster High. It's like,
Yeah.
why do they look like Monster High? Why did it have those weird boots and those weird
Or
skirts?
yeah, why do they all wear skirts and
But
dress? Like I can easily seeing AJ wear skinny shorts or jeans at least.
yeah,
Okay,
something.
so apparently they don't actually have feet in the dolls. You just snap on these shoes
Oh,
onto
God.
like stubs.
Oh god,
Which
it's
is-
horrifying.
Which is I think the Bratz dolls may have done that.
It's
Wasn't huge
easier
on those.
because if they were set up like Barbies, they'd be naked all the time.
Oh man, have you ever tried to get a boot on a Barbie?
No,
It is not the funnest thing to
I
experience.
can't say. I just can't.
Uh,
I never even had action figures growing up. I didn't have that shit.
I don't know. I wasn't huge on Barbies, but we had a huge collection.
I mean, my sister had Barbies, and I remember burning a few of them and maybe blowing them up.
Yeah, I can see how this.
Or I
Gender
remember
roles
tying
working.
one to the back of my best friend's mom's car and watching it be dragged down the road. It was marvelous.
Well, this was obviously that was before like the whole thing, but my sister had a lot of Barbies, and maybe when I was a kid, I used to have GI Joes, and they have huge boots, so I can sympathize with that. I mean, the boots just took forever to get them like into
Yeah.
the leg. So
Or
all
I remember is
the
about
hardest
Barbies,
part was
they
like
squeaked when you
how with
were
the feet,
twins.
how it's like kind of like the feet would just get stuck like right at the bottom, and you just kind of like pray for life to see if you can just get in the right position so they can just stay in. But it is always awful.
I understand this because the Ken dolls were actually always the worst because they have like the feet that are flat, but then the Barbies are like perpetually high heel mold. But that actually makes it easier to put the shoes on.
Yeah, but like the
I mean,
GI
you can
Joes
make a
have
joke
flat
there,
legs.
but it's worse.
It is worse.
Oh my goodness.
They all don't have any somewhat of a figure at all either. Barbies are just like, eh.
I don't know. I liked them sometimes, and then I got older and was kind of over them.
Time to burn them on the grill. Let's go.
I hope you at least chose the ones that had like the rat doll hair.
I had a friend who had like every time he'd see like a black Barbie, he'd be like, nappy headed hoe. I'm just like, God damn it! Why does he even have nappy hair? It makes it funnier.
Barbie hair is the worst.
Barbie hair is not even real hair. I think it's just, I don't know, plastic string, pretty much.
Okay, so back to ponies.
Yeah,
So
back to ponies.
They did one of those toys with like where you're supposed to. It's just like Pinky's head, and you're just supposed to decorate the hair.
Oh God.
Like, do it up, and my sister had a Barbie version of that, and the hair is not really meant to do stuff with. As soon as you touch it, it just frizzes automatically.
You try to straighten it.
Never going back. And it's bad enough that it's a decapitated head
Oh God.
in your room.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. You wake up and it's just like, feed me. It's like a freaking gremlin.
They're too big to stuff, so you end up with it on like your like nightstand.
Remember like the 3-foot tall Barbies? I remember those for a while. Those were like creepy as hell.
Oh, I don't remember those.
Okay.
It was like, I don't think it was Barbie. I think it was some sort of other doll, but they were like 3 feet tall. They were like the equivalent of like
A small child.
midget. Just a midget. Cause it's
But
like,
not even like a child, because that makes sense.
it wasn't like a child. It was pretty much like a full-size Barbie that was 3 feet. Like it was enlarged.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
It was
kind of
weird.
like
It was
it
like a
had
kid.
like a grown human anatomy, but it was 3 feet tall.
How would you throw that away? What do you chop it up and throw it in the bag?
I don't know.
Seriously, because the cops are gonna be on your ass pretty quick if you do that.
It's like you
There's
can't
a
put it on the
hand
side of the
hanging out with a little bit of, you put some ketchup on it just to freak out the garbage guys. Oh man.
Do you in the US have like the days where you can put whatever you want on the side of the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Or I just throw it in the woods.
it's like a week a year, and then you just end up with this really random stuff on the side of the street. And sometimes it's good because you can find really cool stuff. But can you
Even
imagine
now,
like,
if I see like a Power Wheels, like a Barbie Power Wheels Jeep or something like that, I will take that
and you
shit
will,
home
you
and
will find
a four-wheeler or something and ride in it because it's the greatest thing in the world. It's dangerous, but it's fun.
the battery power is like nothing. You have to like have a generator attached to it. I never had one of those.
ass can actually get in one of those and it will pull it. I know because I've been at a Walmart too many times to know that.
Oh man, I
Okay.
grew up just in time for them to come out with those, and I was so jealous.
I had one as a kid. I loved it to death.
So jealous.
Loved it to death, and it was like I was just like I don't know what it was, but it was like some old Chevy truck type one. It was so cool. I loved it.
I had like a 4-track, and man, that was the best. I mean,
I was jealous of the ones that were like they had like a dune buggy one, and like it would make you go fast. It was like fast. It was like 6 miles an hour compared to your 2. Or the Harleys. I remember those.
Oh man, like for me, the at least all of the kids will they prefer like the 4-track ones, and I guess that makes sense because there's like a really huge 4-track trend over here. So I guess all of those kids grow up liking 4-tracks so much that they got their own like real ones.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because I had one when I was a kid and I loved that.
You didn't have a
Um,
child if you were a guy, and if you didn't have a good childhood if you didn't have one of those Power Wheels.
Yeah, it's like that's kind of like the definitive moment in your childhood when your parents buy you your first power wheel. You're like, yes, this is it.
I love how Katie's like, I didn't have one.
Did you have one? You didn't have one?
I feel bad.
Well, I
now.
guess
Well,
I don't know. I
no.
guess because that's
I didn't have like a life-size Barbie house though, so.
yeah, no, but remember, like I think Power Wheels that's kind of like a regular thing over here, like down in the States. Don't know, like
I see kids with them all the time over here too. Well, I mean, I live in suburbia, so
okay.
we actually
Mine
have
has
streets
not-
to do that.
I remember those dollhouses too. They pretty much haven't changed in like 20 years.
No, this one was hardcore. It's like the ones nowadays. It's so many teeny tiny little pieces. Like you could smash mine with a hammer and it wouldn't break. It was awesome.
I remember when I was getting older, like my friend would have one. Like I remember like playing like pretend like they play like hide and go seek and stuff in it, and just
Oh, you mean
ram
like the
into the
clubhouse
side of
thing,
it and
so.
collapse on top of them, and they'd be like, "Ow, you ass!"
No, I didn't have one of those either. No, do you think it's like a
It had the
clubhouse thing?
Plastic shutters you could close.
Oh, gosh, I always wanted a tree house. We didn't have trees.
You didn't have trees if you're in Canada.
I was so jealous because my dad grew up in Saskatchewan, like near forest, and he had like so many tree houses, and I was stuck in like suburbia with attached housing and
I live in the woods. I'm surrounded by woods.
well, also swamp though. Right.
It's swampy woods.
Actually, when it rains, yes, it'll swamp.
Yeah, it's a swampy wood. He's in the marches.
I'm not that south of. Okay, I'm
Okay.
pretty freaking south. in
Yeah, you're
Florida.
daft south. You're in the marches, dude. Don't lie to me.
Dude, I live on the river, the biggest.
So
lake in
there you go.
Florida.
That proves my case. I live close to a river too. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
but we hear your frogs all the time. You don't hear frogs unless it rains and you go outside and it sounds like your house.
My frogs are always on, every day.
You
I
live
need
in
them.
the fucking street, dude. I've seen the outside of your house. You've seen the outside of my house. Remember when we did that Skype thing where you saw
Oh
all
yeah,
the woods
yeah.
I have?
I live in the. Yeah, I live in like a little bit of a. Oh man, it's. What do you call it? I don't know. It's like a bunch. It's just a bunch of houses, just all next to each other, and it's not like a suburb. It's not
It
a
looks
suburb
more-
anywhere. There's like just a bunch of houses, and the main road is pretty close by. It's like over here, everything is like all close together. I mean, the mall is like 7 minutes away from my house, and it's like not even a block away from my house. There's a gas station, a grocery store, a pharmacy, like a bunch of restaurants. Like everything is packed together, which is weird. Nothing is far away. Like everything is really, really close, and it's really convenient, at least for me. I guess if you
Sounds like a
go,
pretty plain.
yeah, it doesn't look like a city.
Good city
Like
planning.
don't imagine city. Just imagine like just normal stores all close together, but there's no like huge skyscrapers or anything. We have really few cities, and they're very small. Like they're not nothing like Toronto or like New York, nothing like that. We don't have any of those.
Yeah, but you're thinking like downtown Toronto. We have skyscrapers there, but I mean, we have these towns that are practically cities, but they don't have skyscrapers, but you still refer to them as cities.
Yeah, we have
You've
cities
never
that.
been to a city until you've gone to Japan. Trust me.
Yeah.
It is crazy there.
He's
That'd be
been to
fun.
Japan. He's been to Japan like a couple times.
I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
Germany, Japan, South Korea. You
No,
know,
that's-
the good shit. I got my anime on. Actually, it was more like got my Japanese car on when I was in Japan.
So, KB, how do you came up with the idea of kind of making Gargle, like the OC and the pony?
So, it was such a spur of the moment thing. So, it's kind of funny. I actually tried doing an Ask blog beforehand, and it just wasn't really something I was ready for at the time because I kind of put out a couple posts and it wasn't really getting a response, and I wasn't really ready to put in the work yet. But then, so I took that down, and then a few months later, it was like during the holidays when I had free time and I was spontaneous, and I kind of just came up with a character design that I kind of liked, and it wasn't getting out of my head. And eventually I came up with a name for it, and I'm like, oh, I guess it has a name now. Then I came up with the story, and I'm like, oh, I guess it has a story now. Now what am I going to do with that? And the worst thing is to have an idea and not do something with it, I guess. So I don't know. I didn't really expect anything to really come of it. I've tried doing like projects and stories and stuff in the past. Nothing's really clicked before. Actually, literally the only thing that really ever gets popular is like pony stuff for me. So anyway, so I put out a post and it actually got responses. So I put out another post that got responses, and it just kind of kept going.
And now you're here, the peak.
And now I'm here.
At the peak
Yep.
of your of your success.
My successful, wild, famous life.
Famous.
This
like,
is the farthest we're gonna ever get to famous.
yeah.
I mean,
No,
I was
it's
actually the probably most famous person we've actually had to come to our streams or like our stuff. I think the post you just did, Ask King Sombra, the big King Sombra, the most famous, liked our status. We've
mean
had
Wiggles?
Ask Joe Pony.
Yeah, the
come
one
to our
that has.
streams.
Yeah,
he
I
didn't know
think-
it was Joe
Claire.
Pony until we asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm the real Joe Pony." I'm just like, why do you people like us for our garbage?
But see, both of those mods are actually really, really nice. They're not like the stereotypical thing you think of when you think of a big name or something. They're actually really down to earth.
We work with like
yeah,
a lot of the.
it's
We work with the
people
biggest.
That big that's
wor-
what we don't understand. We're garbage.
Yeah, we
we're
did
like-
we did like Aphex. We did like the mod from Stalkerloo. We did Jitterbug.
Jitterbug was probably the biggest live stream we've ever had.
Yeah.
Over like 300 people showed up, and we're just like, why?
I mean, we don't even know, but he got everybody that.
Yeah, I saw that. I
yeah.
don't know. It's kind of nice when somebody asks you to do something like this. This is the first time anybody's asked me to do something.
See,
Steve,
we're interview virgins. We break that, that virginity, the interview virginity. Seriously.
I mean,
I don't want to make it sound weird, but it's true. A lot of people say, this is my first interview. I'm like, why? We're not that big. I mean, we're not
no,
like
and the
that.
thing is that we're kind of surprised. Well, we're kind of like the only ones who have really set up shop in like the Tumblr district, of the fandom. A lot of people do interviews, and a lot of podcasts do a lot of things. Interviewing a lot of people from the fandom who are extremely talented, who do a lot of great things. But those are really, really well known, or they do some amazing work, or they're already famous beforehand. People like Living Tombstone, Saber Spark, Final Draft. Those people who are really, really connected into the fandom, and they know a lot of famous people already. And there's a lot of controversy between that, because there's always a lot of
They're either redoing the same people over and over again. Too.
No. Because there's always like you gotta qualify for it. because your work has to be really impressive to them, and you have to be like interesting. And if you're not interesting, then they're
And
not gonna be interested in
what
you.
what separates us is that if we see a blog that we like, and we will interview that person because we find it interesting. Literally, that's how it goes.
It's kind of like the
We
same
look at your
thing they
blog, and
do,
we're just like,
but it's kind of like the
I
same
like
thing
it.
they
Well, I
do.
mean, go for it, man.
Yeah, but we kind of do whatever because I
We
don't
have no
know. This
rules.
kind
We
of
don't have
does
to
like a
follow
little
other
thing.
people's guidelines.
This kind of like does a little thing where it kind of connects everybody together because there's this like a community, and this is about sharing what we like, and we like
No, it's good. I'm
Peop-
glad you're doing it.
we like Tumblr blogs, and we like we like people who make them, and sometimes you ask them questions that you kind of want to know like more about the mod, and these little shows kind of do that, and we're gonna keep doing it until
We get tired or the fandom dies. pretty
yeah
much.
we get tired. That's like a 1 out of 10 possibility.
Did you say you want to keep this podcast going for like 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, because
Today?
Wow,
that's the
man, go
extent.
for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for
Keep
it.
them
Like
coming.
I mean, we'll scrape the barrel eventually, but
Oh no, you'd be amazed how like many new blogs keep coming and they're like
Mhm.
it's really,
really good.
it's pretty much the sad thing is, and I don't want to sound like a dick to all the other, it's pretty much me and Sin have been doing most of the work lately. It's been
Yeah.
just me and him
no,
doing
it's
the work.
true. It's true. I'm sorry for the other guys if they get upset, but that's true.
People, this podcast started 2 years ago. Out of
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
other
Well, okay,
podcast
we don't want to bore
stream.
her with that story, but
No,
anyway,
no,
let's
I'm
go
just
on.
giving her the really
Yeah.
quick 2-second, and we started with like 8 people. It's pretty much down to 2.
Yeah, that's it. And here we are. So, KB, so once you got a pretty good response out of it, and you kind of moved on to giving it a story, so kind of in a nutshell, what's Gargle's story? What she's all about?
So sorry, what's Carl's story?
Yeah.
Backstory, yeah.
Still coming. Let's see. Some details that not a lot of people have really asked. I haven't really divulged. Some things, of course, it being a continuing story, I, like to hold on to some things. But let's see. For instance, he's it's the average new to Ponyville type story. He comes from south of Equestria, from a place that's kind of a valley, sort of mountainous area, mostly Pegasi.
Oh, you mean
So-
Atlanta?
Yeah, maybe. I haven't. It's kind of a mystical place. I haven't really put any place on our map. But yeah, so some of that will come from him coming from mostly Pegasi society. You may also notice. Well, nobody's noticed. I don't know. I'd like to add details nobody notices. He doesn't say any pony a whole lot. He'll say anybody. And that comes from the fact that pretty much, I don't know, to me, Equestria is mostly ponies, but not everywhere else in this.
That is very,
Things
very
that
true,
is.
because we've seen it, like, there are horses.
And
there
they're
are
not
horses,
horses.
there are griffins, there are
That was
other...
surprising.
Yeah,
But
there are other races.
there are bison. I wouldn't be surprised that there's deer, there's cows, there's goats that talk, so saying
Glad
any
you brought up
pony
deer.
is kind of being somewhat racist, in a way.
Anyways, so yeah, so he, so there's some dragons and griffins over there. So that'll come into play. As you may notice, I'm still kind of in the introduction stage right now. Some more exponential arcs will follow after this kind of fun, silly sledding one I'm currently working on. But yeah, so I don't know how much I should tell yet.
As much as you
But
think.
that
Spill it.
is.
Spill the beans.
As much as you want to. I mean, we
Um,
don't want to ruin anybody who's reading it right now. Because the people who are going to watching this are going to be fans of yours, so yeah.
We brought up Derpy earlier. I've got a side story happening with Dinky. There is a video up that came pretty early in the blog, so not a whole lot of the newer followers have seen it yet. I actually had a post on Equestria Daily, even though not a lot of people realized that it was attached to a blog.
Oh,
Um,
that's
We've
interesting.
given up on Equestria Daily, actually.
Yeah, we're not
yeah,
gonna
a lot of Tumblr porn has actually.
we're not gonna talk about them anymore.
They're
Okay,
dead to
okay.
us.
Yeah. So back to the interview. Please continue.
Yeah. Wow, where was my train of thought?
Your train of thought
So,
was
anyways,
with
I've got a
Dinky.
side story happening with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the idea here is that if you look on the description on the blog, he is described as being a background pony, and that's sort of the theme of the blog is to examine the rest of the canon world from the eyes of somebody who's not a main character,
Hmm.
which is always something I've kind of found interesting through the eyes of the background character.
Yeah.
So a lot of Dinky's story will come in through that.
It's interesting
Who's
because
also
I'm sorry. When it comes to writing, drawing in a third person perspective is always more difficult than say in a first person perspective. And it's interesting you're taking that route. It is challenging, but if you seem that you know how you're gonna take the story. And
I hope so.
yeah, so
Sort of.
yeah, it all depends on one's own skill. I guess you're doing something that you like, not even knowing that that's something challenging, especially for someone in terms of story wise and writing. So
Of course, follower interaction is important too. So it's not completely
definitely,
fleshed out.
definitely. So what are your thoughts? The fandom always does this. They take two-dimensional characters and try to turn them, flesh them out and turn them into full-fledged characters. And what I mean by two-dimensional characters is that, like Trixie, she's only there to be bad. There is no depth to a character. She's just generic.
And yet there's so many people who've fallen in love with her because they've added extra dimensions to her, of course.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it's kind of natural, but at the same time, it's kind of difficult because you don't want to step on other people's toes because they're doing the same things. But I think it's fascinating, and I actually, even though there's like 1,000 Twilight blogs on Tumblr, I think each one is kind of special in its own way, and I find that whole process interesting. To be able to look at the same character, and it's still the same character, but it's just through somebody else's eyes.
Yeah, a lot of people like to either turn her blind or make her forgetful or make her, the future Twilight, which
Shout
is
out to Forgetful Twilight.
yeah,
One of our
Forgetful
followers.
Twilight, which is a really good Twilight blog.
She follows us, which is shocking too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Almost everyone who interviews also follows us, so that's our follower interaction right there. This is extreme
Oh,
interaction.
you love us, we love you back.
Exactly, that's who we are.
Well, that's the cool thing about Tumblr, though. That's kind of the culture.
It's the culture, the parts that we like. Let's just leave it at that. So, going back to onto your blog and to your characters, so Gargle, of course, he interacts with the characters from the actual show, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got the Cutie Mark Crusaders there. Kind of, how do you work around that? Like, do you try to make them as canon as possible, or do you just loosely, write the characters how you see them?
I actually don't. I don't actually like bringing really fleshed out characters too much into it. I mean, the main six there are briefly there. They're kind of more of a presence than anything. Like I said, through the eyes of a background character who doesn't really view the main characters as main characters, of course. So there is a lot of canon. It's mostly canon. I do a lot of of my own research to try to figure out how that would work. For instance, I had a age reference up that may have recently gotten kind of changed due to recent episodes. But yeah, I try to make it as canon as possible with some slight differences. So there will be some slight differences just to show that it is an alternate reality. It's not supposed to be the actual show.
Okay.
Hmm.
Some people
Yeah.
like to take it. This is happening as the same timeline as the show, which makes things kind of weird.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, already I've had other Tumblr ponies in it, so I know it is kind of a mix of original characters and real characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already can't really exist in the actual canon. I mean, the main character of the blog is an OC. That's not going to appear in the show.
How many OCs, like how many people from Tumblr blog, live in Ponyville?
That is a very good question, and that's why we have the stream of alternate realities.
Yay!
Because much as we all love, say, flower shops, we can't have 13 of them in one town, right?
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense. I always question that. Like, geez, there's like thousands of pony blogs, all of them living in Ponyville. How many citizens can Ponyville have? It's like it's insane. But I guess like everybody uses the there's a quantum physicist who made a theory called the many worlds interpretation. And what that theory is not the alternate dimension theory. This theory says that for every decision that we make, we create a different universe. For example, let's say you woke up this morning and you had a decision between Cap'n Crunch and Fruity Pebbles, and you choose Fruity Pebbles. Whoops, you created another universe in which you chose Cap'n Crunch.
So there's infinite universes in
Exactly.
One way.
So what people do is that for every choice that the character made in the show, the alternative would be it could probably be someone else's blog and someone else's, dimension, someone else's world.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and then you have to do a little playing with fourth walls, and yeah, you play a bit with it.
Oh, definitely. Since you're constantly playing with fourth walls, you're receiving questions from other people and from other universes.
Yeah, everybody tries to, kind of create their own little version of why these characters are answering questions from, disembodied voices.
I lost my eyes. I can't remember. Crazy crap like that. I don't have a dad. I went too fast. Just reasons, but it makes sense.
Yeah. But it's funny. Again, it's another thing. It's fun to see other blogs doing their own different variations. Gargle himself has a floating camera thing that happens to display the questions. It's discussed briefly. I haven't been able to get too far into it without messing up the story.
That's actually a good way of them just talking aimlessly into, the world. I would love to see somebody make like a blog where they're just like an onlooker to some other blog, talking to in thin air to like a question.
And now I love that idea.
That is this is why I wish I could be a good artist and have a tablet or whatever they're called to draw on.
Tablet.
Because
Yeah.
I would totally be doing these awesome vlog ideas that I have.
Oh, another word for tablet is digitizer.
Oh, well, let's make it all scientific then. Ugh.
No, I'm not stepping back the word tablet now because we have like iPads and stuff. You walk into a store and you say, I want a tablet, they're going to hand you an iPad.
No, well, if you run
throw
to
it
an
directly
electronics
at their
store
face at
and
that
say, I want a digitizer, they'll give you a drawing tablet.
I don't know though. They'd probably just be like, yeah, we have a lot of digital things here.
Well, that's weird
You have
because
something I can
okay,
draw
the thing
on.
the okay, this is okay, I study for for some A+ courses, and when they use the term digitizer, is something that it's the equivalent of a scanner. It's something that if you do it on the peripheral, it will appear on the screen, digitize. And the drawing tablet, for now, is the only thing considered a digitizer. Like, that's the only thing.
I did not know that. I'm learning things.
Yeah.
I love learning things.
We love learning things. We learn from each other, holding hands.
Knowledge is
Learning
power.
is fun.
Yes. We should all make a circle and hold hands.
G.I. Joe. No, G.I. Jose.
So, I mean, of course, your art is fantastic. I mean, it's great
I'm
to
sorry?
look at it. Your art is fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, take that compliment. And from someone who used to do a ton of blogging and looks at art almost every day, you have a pretty unique style in terms of how you draw your pony's faces. A lot of people get stuck
Yeah, I've
with
been
the
told that.
same face syndrome, which has happened to a lot of blogs. You're like really one of the few exceptions, and that kind of makes your blog stand out.
Well, thanks. That was actually intentional. Yeah, before I actually started the blog, I did like a planning stage. I think it was partially because I was still deciding whether or not I wanted to actually try this thing. But I did a planning stage where I did try to draw Gargle in a whole bunch of different styles. I ended up doing the one that was actually the most difficult to draw, but it was similar enough to styles that I had done previously that I was comfortable with it. And then the whole pencil watercolor looking dealio, which doesn't really look like it anymore because it's evolved so much. That was partially me just wanting to be lazy because I thought watercolor would be easier. And then I ended up actually following the lines, and it just became just as hard as I.
You can just do like I noticed right now from your profile picture, which is the lines are from brushes. They're from the brush tool. These aren't pen lines.
I feel bad that she has to look at my
Yeah.
profile picture for Sky because I forgot it's mad curvy.
It is a little distressing.
Just don't look directly at it.
I do love Kirby though, so I can't dislike it.
Don't worry, I've changed it, and once you see it, I know Sin's gonna be like, it's it's perfect.
It is beautiful. I love it. It's everything I want it to be and more.
But Cowboy.
Spike.
Oh man, my profile picture is actually really old right now.
I was
I
gonna
know.
say that's actually a really good picture of Rarity. Isn't that like when she was like part
No,
of the Wonder whatever brigade?
no, that's my mod pony.
Oh, that's your
Oh.
mob pony.
But it does have the same colors as Rarity.
It
Yeah.
looks like you drew Rarity after the Power Pony episode.
This was before the Power Pony episode, to be fair.
Oh.
But
Oh
got
no.
messed up.
Oh
but
no.
but then she's got like Applejack hair, so it's kind of like this weird. It wasn't
It's the love child
intended to
between
be.
Rarity
It was
and
not
Nathan.
intended to be. I just like purple.
I went to a school where our high school pretty much school colors were purple and white, and purple has always stuck with me.
Ugh, that's no fair. I've always been stuck
But
with
my
red and
favorite
white.
color is blue and pink.
What is it with Canadian schools and everything has to be red and white?
Oh, Canada.
Because if it
Patriotism.
was
Oh,
red, white, and
Canada.
blue, it'd be too American.
No, but then we add blue because it's a neutral color to things. Then it's like, yep, now it's American.
Now it's America. Like
Just,
over
it
here,
screams America.
over here, everything has to be like white, red. Whoa, what's that noise? It's like a faucet's open.
Yeah, you know the Crest toothpaste, how it comes in red, white, and blue? You can't buy that here. It's only red and
Are
white.
you brushing your teeth?
No, that was actually also a joke.
Oh boy.
I just threw that in there because you said sink and then crescent, and I'm just like,
I said I hear a sink, a faucet open, and then
I heard it too.
yeah, that's
That-
okay.
No, it's just the pipes making sounds.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
jeez.
No, yeah, I have a pipe